Hi, I'm Dave Pitcher, and this is the PrisMad5 Prismatic. PrisMad5 Prismatic is a shape mod of bedCubes' wonderful PrisMad5 puzzle. I'll provide a link to that video somewhere around up here. I made this prismatic version of his puzzle in order to better understand what's going on in the puzzle and to provide an educational tool for other folks who want to learn more about deeper than origin puzzles. Now, at first glance, this puzzle may seem to be a shallow cut pentagonal prism with one deep or origin cut around the equator of the puzzle. And indeed, you can start to play it like that, but what you'd quickly find is that only two axes are available. One axis, or one cut here, and one cut here. The axes for these cuts, or the axles, both are the same place in this case, are here and here. So these two pieces are actually the axle that turns this slice. And these two pieces are the axle that turns this slice. I made another version of this puzzle without stickers and with colored axles to make it a little easier to understand. In this case, the red pieces here are the axle that's here, and the purple pieces are the axle that's here. These are the only two axles on the puzzle, so if you're not turning a slice that's opposite those two axles, like this slice, it can't turn. Now, with a deeper than origin puzzle, what this means is that the slice is on the opposite side of the origin as the turning axis. So the turning axis goes here, and the slice is out here. That slice doesn't intersect the turning axis. The other thing this means from a practical standpoint is that if you make a shallow turn on a deeper than origin puzzle, what happens is you relocate at least one of the axes of the puzzle. For example, if I make a shallow turn here on this red axis, the purple axle moves from here to here. Now it's easy to see in this model, but if I were using this model, it wouldn't necessarily be entirely obvious that I just moved my axle. So in order to keep the axles in the same place and not to reorient my axis system, I need to make deeper than origin turns and not shallow turns. So if I make a deeper than origin turn on the red axis, it leaves my purple axis in place and vice versa. And now I always know where my axes are if I only make those deeper than origin turns. Now, you may say that, okay, that's great, but the puzzle's only going to have limited ability to mix up, and in fact won't really be able to truly scramble with only two axes and 180 degrees on both of those axes. And you would be right, except for that fact that we have this deep axis here. And what this allows us to do is really pretty cool. By turning on that axis, we can split the axles and recombine them. In this case, only one of them is recombined into a functional axis, allowing me to turn there, but nowhere else on the puzzle. If I want to make subsequent turns, I'm going to have to keep turning the deep axis and recombine to make other turns like so. And I can keep doing that, and I can recombine these, and now you can see I've actually swapped places of these two axes. Or axles, I should say. Using those two types of turns allows the puzzle to become completely scrambled. Now, you can start to scramble it even without using those equator turns. As you can see, all of the stored cuts do get used because of the deeper than origin cuts. But now it truly gets scrambled if I start to recombine those axes. Oops, need to make one more turn. Like so. That's the PrisMad5 Prismatic puzzle. Thanks for watching.